One of the best-known ghost tales of Tucker County was told by Lewis Kittle, who lived on the Indian Fork of Clover Run. His reputation among his neighbors and acquaintances was above reproach, and the following story is an account of the facts as he knew and understood them. Mr. Kittle was not a superstitious man, and was not a believer in spiritualism. In 1867, Lewis Kittle, with several others, was mining coal near the ground on which the Battle of Rich Mountain had been fought. He and a cousin named Daniel Cutright boarded with a Mr. Hart, whose house was adjacent to the battlefield and had been used as a hospital during the battle. In the course of the battle, a soldier had been shot in the room later occupied by Kittle and his cousin. The first night in the room, they heard a weird and continuous noise. They supposed it was only the wind, but one day they were told by a fellow miner that the room was haunted. One Saturday night, soon after this, Cutright was absent, and Kittle slept in the room alone. Along in the night, he was awakened by a strange coldness and a dim light that outlined the furniture in the misty air. The silence was broken only occasionally by a low sound that seemed to be the echo of a night breeze. Drawn by some unseen, irresistible power, Kittle arose from the bed and moved near the door. He said that he felt no fear and was struck with a sense of calmness. Almost immediately he saw 8 forms materialize, clad in Confederate uniforms. Silently they approached the bed on which Kittle had been sleeping and removed the covers, throwing them over the footboard. 4 of them leaned over the bed and raised something up, as if lifting a weight. The object, which Kittle could not see, was laid down carefully upon apparently nothing. 2 of those who had lifted the object from the bed then took a place in front of the door, and the other 2 stepped behind. In this order they slowly marched toward the door, and as they filed out, Kittle saw laying between the pallbearers the body of a handsome young man. His coat and vest had been removed, but he was wearing butternut trousers. The figures made no sound until they had reached the hallway, where a noise resembling the knock of a crutch on a wooden floor was heard. This was followed by the closing of a door. Kittle collected the covers and returned to bed. He said that there was not any possibility of his being mistaken about what he saw. He was in perfect health, wide awake, and not frightened. Kittle spoke to several men staying in the house who said that other people who had occupied the room had had similar experiences. On other occasion, when Mr. Cutright was present, the covers were removed from the bed several times in quick succession. Finally, both men got up, clutching their bedclothes tightly. The same cold, clammy light entered the room, and the weird wind was again heard as the 2 men were pushed out of the way and up against the wall. Then a calm and quiet settled over the room, and the gray air rolled like a fog in a slight breeze. The forms began to emerge slowly at first, and then suddenly stood in bold view. Again they approached the bed. In a few moments they solemnly took up their burden and enacted the same scene. These nocturnal visits became so frequent that Kittle and Cutright finally got used to it. When they first became aware of the cold light and weird echo, they would wrap their blankets tightly around them and say, "Here come them rebels again."